West Virginia is America's best kept secret.
People don't just pick up and leave West Virginia. You have roots here, you want to stay.
I'm a native son. My grandfather and great-grandfather both worked in the mines. My heartstrings pulled me back.
I'm a transplant, but West Virginia, they are the proudest people I've ever met. They love this place, and even though it's maybe harder to make a living and make a life, like, they don't want to move. This is their place.
I think when you leave West Virginia and you meet other West Virginians, they always talk about how they miss home. But at the same time, it has to be an economic decision. If you want to raise a family, you have to have jobs to support them.
West Virginia has long been known as a coal production state. That's what we identify with. That's what our economy has been surrounded, our politics. We've moved mountains for it. There's been a huge decrease in that. 53% from 2008 loss in coal production.
There was a lot of negativity and sort of pessimism as what's going to happen, can coal come back, can we be that strong economy again?
As people are losing those coal mining jobs and all those other resource opportunities, we've got to find them an opportunity, something to give them some hope.
We are at a crossroads, really. We need to find out what our new identity is.
You go back before the coal, and West Virginia was deep in agriculture.
There's a rich history of agriculture in this area. However, there's not a lot of fresh food available. We're in about a 40-mile stretch between grocery stores.
It was so frustrating. You forget an onion for dinner and you'd have to drive that far.
In West Virginia, we consume $7 billion worth of food annually, but we produce less than $1 billion of it within the state's borders. And so that's clearly a huge opportunity for agriculture in the state.
The Appalachian region is one of the largest diversity of heritage beans and tomatoes on the planet. And there's so many lost and forgotten type of seeds that are out there, different flavors that you just can't produce in a store.
100 years ago, West Virginia produced over 12 million bushels of apples.
We've done a lot of strip mining and mountaintop removal kind of stuff, so you end up with a lot of flat land that isn't necessarily real high in nutrients. And so we've tried to work with the agriculture folks to see what we need to do to improve the soil.
You know, with a little bit of work, you can transform anything.
This is Nicholas County, West Virginia. It's what we affectionately call the Patriot Apple Project. We're trying to show how we can actually build orchards on post-mine use land. So abandoned mine land funding has allowed us to branch into the apple orchard research as well as business opportunity realm. We started to really look at that military mindset and how procedural they were and maybe how that would sync up really well with ag. We kind of look at it as food security as well as food safety. We're trying to illustrate back to our veteran and military, as well as their families, that they can then be those producers. Their lives have been about responsibility and protection. To put them into a role to where what they're doing is helping to not only sustain our state, but develop a local foods economy. They have a purpose, and everybody's purpose-driven.
For a veteran that has, seen combat, for them to come back and have an avenue post-service where, we're creating something beautiful is really an expression that you don't find in most places.
This area is truly prime for expansion. The mindset of the Guard was, man, if we can really do this and do this right, this gives that identity back to this area.
There's a lot of talk locally about job retraining or skills training for people who used to work in the coal mining industry that have been displaced. The Guard is so meaningful to the local community already, but this agricultural program that they have started will create jobs and new opportunities in the process. I think that's part of a transitional economy. We need to diversify job types and the income streams in West Virginia, and I think agriculture can be a really big part of that.
If we do nothing more than just buy more of what we produce locally, we help each other, we help our neighbors, we create opportunities, and we don't just have to feed ourselves, we can feed the rest of the country too. So,
sharing food as a community is a really important tradition to me, and I think that you learn so much from other people around sharing a meal and just the conversations that come out of it.
What is Appalachian food?
What is Appalachian food? I think Appalachian food is comfort. My philosophy basically is buy the most seasonal, local ingredients, the best proteins, and add a little bit of salt and pepper. Salt is the most important thing. It is that flavor carrier, and what great place to have than J.Q. Dickinson and have like the best salt in the world right here. Malden, there's an ancient ocean that runs underneath here. This whole area was founded on salt. For us in Appalachia, it literally is like one of the best feathers in our cap.
Every salt from around the world is different because our brine is underground. It's very protected. Our source hasn't been touched by mankind. As I started to learn about our history in salt making, it was like a magnet that kept drawing me back, and I needed to revive it. So here we are, back on the family farm, making salt.
My wife and I moved back to West Virginia in 2009, and our idea was to move out to the country and to do some small-scale farming. One of the important things that we wanted to do is be producers on the farm, and that's not only producing food, but also producing some of our own power. We got started in solar on the farm with a system for our house. As our farm grew, we decided to expand our solar capacity, and we put some solar panels on our barn. The system paid for itself in about 6.5 years, and it has a 25-year life expectancy, so I got 19 years of free power.
I was like, wow, is solar really gonna work in West Virginia?
Yeah, we were a little like, Elkins, I think, is maybe the second rainiest city in the country or something.
It's amazing the efficiency of the panels these days. We'll add another 48 panels. That'll almost produce, in the summer months, all the electricity we need.
We just put in solar last summer. We are working toward a zero carbon footprint. We recycle everything we can. It's important to us to think about every step that we take and the impact we're having.
A lot of our decisions are based around trying to be as green and environmentally friendly as we can.
The reason we all live in West Virginia, I think, is because it's so beautiful.
We've got the water and now we have the land. So we need to be good stewards of all of that and do what we do best.
If you can grow your food close to where it's going to be consumed, you eliminate a lot of transportation. You eliminate a lot of fuels, fossil fuels being burned to get it to market.
What we're building should connect farmers and local producers to the end consumer, and it's just going to form a tighter bond between the local community and local agriculture.
We're trying to build a connection to farmers. So we work with farmers, say, hey, this is what we're interested in growing. Would you be able to supply us with this?
You just basically need grains, clean water, and yeast to make beer. Our hop profile in, hops give the beer character and flavor, add the yeast and makes beer. So sounds simple, but it's really not, but it is.
The West Virginia beer scene, it was pretty much a desert. You had your large American lagers, and that's about it. And now it's like, you can ferment about anything.
You can ferment.
I mean, name an ingredient. Someone has probably put it in a beer.
This is our bearberry beer. It's a contemporary goza. American brewers have kind of taken it to the next level, added a bunch of fruit. So it's kind of like a Sour Patch Kid.
We just recently put 100 pounds of blueberries in a small batch. Right now we have the ability to source from right down the road.
Trying to keep like a localized economy. All of our spent grain, once we're done pulling the sugar to make wort, we send out to the farm, feed the cows. And then when the cows get processed, we'll use the meat from the cows, and it'll be this nice little loop that helps keep the money local.
In Elkins.
That's really important to us, to support other businesses and to keep as much money locally in our community as possible.
Out-of-state beer is definitely everywhere here, but we're starting to send out-of-state too. We'll fight back.
Yeah, it might inform people that West Virginia is in fact a state.
We are a state. We
are.
Cheers.
The next is Notorious Double Ants. Our top-selling beer, it's our IPA.
Based off of the Hatfield side of the Feud. And then we have another one you're drinking, which is the McCoy side of the Feud. So they come in here all the time, and they're like, well, I'm a Hatfield. And then you have like a McCoy in the same bar. I love it when McCoy really enjoys the Hatfield side, and then Hatfield really enjoys the McCoy side. And it kind of like settles the feud.
Beer settles feuds.
Yeah.
Not only does it bring people together,
Yeah.
it settles the Hatfield and McCoy feud.
Yes.
The brewing industry in West Virginia is community, not competition.
Right.
Like we're all neighbors.
All of these people, they know each other. They know what their kids' names are, when their birthdays are. Like, they hang out together.
And that's the great thing about small breweries too, because we've had so many customers come in here that never drank any craft.
But they wanted to support us because we're here.
Yeah.
Their West Virginia pride is so strong that they're like, we're gonna drink this. It's West Virginia made.
If I can keep money in Appalachia and in West Virginia, I'm going to, every step of the way. There are a lot of great things about this state, and I think one of the best things about it is our sense of community and our support of each other and our grit and determination.
We have some of the most incredible people. When they see a problem, they want to come back and say, hey, how can we help solve this?
The mine culture in West Virginia is very strong, but I think, the sun shines in West Virginia, and I think we can mine West Virginia's sun just like they can any place else. But we need to think longer term than the next 10 years. We need to think of what we're doing for West Virginia and also for the nation and the world.
We could be a leader in renewable energy. We could be a leader in agriculture and entrepreneurship.
We have people that are very self-reliant and resilient, and we don't sit around and wait for everybody to tell us how to do things. We kind of try to figure it out and do it on our own.
We're not going to stop our progress. We're going to do what we're doing because we feel it's the right path.
Whether you're a West Virginian by birth or by choice, West Virginia has opportunities because it's a small state, because things are scalable here. One person or one family or a small group of people can have a significant impact.
We're resilient. We're steadfast. We ain't leaving. We're going to fix it. And those that do leave really do tend to want to come back home. So we'll just make it better when they're ready to come back home. They've got a reason to come back home.